Good evening. Welcome to WCTV Sports. I'm Paul Geigle. You're watching Off the Court with Coach Kevin Brogioli, Wareham Viking varsity basketball coach, who will be alongside me each and every week in this new feature on WCTV. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Who would ever think that after a storybook season back in 2010, the first Wareham State tournament title, that eluded your father for 25 years he coached, right? And how you could even ever come close to topping something like that. And last season, 2012, 24-0, your sixth South Coast Conference championship in a row. Your 250th win, actually, was it 256 now?
Something like that.
You don't count. But it's, anyway, that is amazing to me, man. But let's go back to that state championship game just for a little bit here. Your dad was at that game, obviously, watching the game. And you were there. And was your brother Dave there on the bench with you?
Yeah, my brother David was a volunteer coach on the bench that year as well.
So what a special moment, I mean.
It was nice. My son Sam was the manager of the team, so we had it on. Now he's a senior on the team this year, but it was a family affair, but it was like the whole town was there, so it was a community event, I thought.
The final whistle, and your dad, I know his heart was filled with so much pride seeing you and Dave, and man, that's got to be something special.
It was very special. That was a special team. It was a long season, though, because we had high expectations on that team, and they felt them all year, so there was pressure to perform. But they came through, and they did. On the biggest stage, they played their best game of the season in that championship game. And so it was a very proud moment for me as a coach, as a former player, as a son of a coach, and as a member of the Wareham community.
I know, and doing it in front of your dad, who not only is your father, but he's the, I would call him the architect of the Wareham basketball program, right?
Absolutely. I just try to carry on a lot of the things, a lot of the drills he did, we still do.
Yeah.
Some of the plays we still run. If it works, why veer away from it?
And like that, it's uncanny. You came up with what I'm going to start I want to talk about right now is watching your dad. You're on the bench for how many seasons? 12, 13, 14 seasons?
His assistant for 13 seasons.
Wow, as a JV coach and his assistant. Now you're watching him not only in the games, but you're in practice watching how he conducts his drills and stuff like that. Other than watching him teach the fundamentals, what do you think he gave to you just by you watching him do his job? And
a few things. One, I would say there was a passion for the game and a passion for the competition. He loved and respected the sport of basketball, but he also loved his players, and he loved the competition of the game. And I think that, whether that's passed on genetically or through environment or a combination thereof, I've inherited that. And I think it's the way he commanded the respect of his players. There might have been times when they didn't like him, but they always respected him and wanted to play hard.
So practices were tough?
Sure. Tough, but in a good kind of tough.
Yeah, good kind of tough. But as long as the kids got through it and didn't mind, because the end results always
they could
show.
see.
Yeah, they always say practice is going to almost always dictates how you're going to perform in a game, usually, right? Unless
the habits that you form in practice are the ones you're going to display in the games.
Yeah, so that's got to be incredible. So you watched your dad in practice, you watched him, and the style of play. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up. You're noted for, and I'm sure he was too, because you watched him, is that up-tempo, fast-paced offensive style, right? Get up the court.
Correct. Fast break basketball has always been the style here at Wareham. I think it caters to the athletes that we have, but it's also the fun way to play the game. As a player, you want to run. You want to get the easy shots. You want to get the layups. You want to score a lot of points. And so that just seemed like a natural to keep up with that. But people think you sometimes roll the ball out and just tell them to go run and shoot. We practice it every day. We practice the fast break every day. Players know where they need to be on the court, and it doesn't happen by accident. But it's a natural way of playing the game that I think is more fun for the players, too.
Right. And defensively now, we know you're noted for man-to-man, right? In-your-face kind of defense, right?
We like pressure defense.
Yeah, pressure defense,
and
pressure.
We'll mix it up. We'll go man-to-man, full court, but we'll also go full court zone press as well. And so I like to be able to run 2 or 3 different defenses in a game.
Right. Now, does that defense, when you change the defense, is that usually dictated by maybe a bad matchup
for
the other team, having advantage on you inside maybe, or the guards?
It could be. If we know we're playing a team that doesn't have great outside shooters, we might go more zone press back to a zone. If we're trying to protect someone in foul trouble, we might play a zone or a triangle and two or a box and one. If we think we're quicker and more dominant physically than another team, we'd often go man-to-man.
Right.
And it's about matchups.
Right. Well, yeah, about matchups. And we're going to be talking about some of those in a little while. But this season coming up, the group coming back on your varsity roster, out of the 15 you had last year, only 6 will be here this year. I mean, that we're on the 15-man roster. So I know I read a little bio of kind of an outline of the team this year. We've got your 2 twin towers coming back, Quentin
and Jeff Hood.
Right,
yes.
and Jeff Hood, your 2 big boys up front. That's always nice to have, right? 6'7", 6'5", right?
That's a nice luxury in high school.
That's a nice luxury. And you got Darren coming back. He's
Darren
your quarterback.
Fernandez is the quarterback of the team, and he makes us go, and he's probably going to be one of the premier guards in the state of Massachusetts this year.
And it's going to be interesting to talk about Darren in a little while, too, but just go through the other 6 guys that are coming back. We've got Mason.
Mason Vasconcelos is a starter this year. He'll be our 2 guard, and we'll be looking to him for some offense. We graduated 2 great shooters with Stephen Montero and Aaron Baptiste from last year's team, and then Danny Thomas, who was a hustling forward. So we need to find people to come in and fill those roles.
So the role that's in question right now, I think that's probably jogging your mind, is the small forward, right?
Yes.
The 3 position. So we've got a couple of guys. We got Harrison. LaTroy Harrison, probably going for that job. And you got that football player,
Anthony Abbott, the quarterback of the football team.
Was he banged up a little?
He was. He had injured, well, not out of football, but in the first couple of days of practice, he sprained his knee or got a bruised patella. And so I don't think he's going to be available tomorrow night. He practiced for the first time, really, yesterday. I don't know if he'll be ready tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we also have another junior forward, Chris Siassi, who played JVs last year, who's stepped up and has been playing very well in the scrimmages we've had so far.
That's small forward.
That's small forward. So if I start the 2 bigs, one of those 3 will be the other starter in that forward position.
So on the role players, the bench players, when one of your big guys has to come out and get a breather, you've got no one really at that big position.
Correct.
You're going to have to go small, like you say, right?
We will. We'll go with 1 big guy at that point, and then some small forwards, which for years Wareham has gone with 5 guards. So going a little bit smaller won't hurt us.
So they got to be in shape. When you need to give Mason or Darren a blow, who's the guard you can probably count on right now?
We're trying to figure that out right now. One player, backup point guard, might be Dante Silva. Dante's a senior who played JVs last year, but he's had a groin injury for a lot of the preseason. Another is sophomore Matt Griggs, who played JVs last year as a freshman, who will be a promising player. It's a question of whether or not he's ready at this time.
Yeah, I heard he has a ton of talent, too.
He's a nice, coachable kid, and he'll be fine. We just don't know if he'll be ready early in the season or not. Then we have some guards off the bench, Charles Transfaglia, who played football last year as a 2-guard. Sam Brogioli, who will be a 2-guard as well off the bench.
Yeah, the Brogioli family, huh?
Yes. Another one.
Who's that, Dave's boy?
No, that's my son.
That's yours. Wow. Senior?
He's a senior
guard.
Right?
Or small forward.
Small forward,
whatever,
guard, whatever, little tweener. So we have some people that can come in to fill some roles. Cody Stammer is a 6'2".
Yeah, I forgot about him. He's one of the returners coming back.
He's a returner. He was on the varsity team last year. He's about a 6'3", 6'2", small forward. I think he likes playing guard a little more, but he's mostly a small forward, and he'll help us on the press team this year, I think.
And also, they said he's strong in the boards, too. He can help you underneath.
He's decent on the boards. What he does, he's a scrapper, and he hustles on defense a lot. So we're hoping that some of these people will develop as role players as the season goes on.
So we go to the game tomorrow. We'll see a 15-man roster, right? I've only got 11 here, so
13 on the roster. 13 on the
right now.
Roster.
That's going to be it. You're going to carry 13.
Yes. Yeah. Going to carry 13, and then we've got North Quincy tomorrow night.
Wow. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But I got a question about your big player, Darian D. They call him D Fernandez, right? We go back to, I think your wife told the story in a paper not too long ago about watching him when he was a little guy, right? About how athletic he was, right?
Correct.
So you heard early stories when he was small, but when he was playing youth basketball, in organized ball, Were you getting reports from other people? Did you go to see him, or are you just kind of waiting to?
I don't go too often.
Yeah.
I mean, the youth things when my son would play, I'd go to him obviously, but I don't scout like at the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, 6th grade level even. But he did move. I did know when he moved to Carver though. And he had moved to Carver when he was younger, but then he moved back to Wareham. And when he moved back, I knew that was a good thing. That was a good thing for Wareham.
Yeah, absolutely. One of your comments about him last year, one of your concerns was how he, I think the wording you used, the phraseology was body language. You're kind of worried about that, especially with the referees and getting possibly into foul trouble or maybe a double T and he's gone, right? And that'd be devastating for the team. Not only for the game, that game itself, and he's your go-to guy. Correct. You know, he goes out of the game, you're scrambling.
Yes.
But the other thing too is the kids on the team. The kids not only on the bench, but the young kids watching this boy from freshman to senior. They're watching this kid conduct himself right on the court. So
correct.
Watching him, and this year, my question is, this is going to be very important for him, his maturity, right? Because if this kid matures and he gets it, right, he keeps his emotions intact, right, how big is that going to be for all these other kids that are surrounding him, especially the underclassmen, right, coming up, seeing how he conducts himself, runs the team, and
it's huge. It sounds like you were at my conversation with Darian yesterday before practice.
Well,
we had this conversation a lot. We talked about staying composed and how he's got to be a mature senior leader. And that people do look up to him and they watch what they're doing, and he's got a lot of eyes on him, from referees to people in the stands. And he just, if he can channel his aggressiveness and his natural competitiveness in a positive way and just forget about what the refs call, it's going to help his game, it's going to help our team, and it's going to make him a better leader.
I know he's only 18 years old, right? And too bad he didn't get a chance to watch. And I'm going to bring up a name from the NBA, the guy I always admired, not so much because he has so much physical talent, but the Los Angeles Laker, Magic Johnson. And to compare the demeanor thing about how Magic conducted himself on court, if Darian could only see how this guy would, under adversity, guys were hacking at him, he was always doubled and triple teamed, and he never lost his composure. Maybe a couple of times. So most of the time he'd just smile, pat the guy in the back or hand the ball to him, and even the referee got a bad call on him, and he's just, man, it's like, that is such a great teaching thing for someone to see that,
It is. And you can see it. It's hard to sometimes take all that energy and that competitiveness and channel it another way, but that's what he has to learn to do. And when he does that, his game's only going to get to another great plateau. So I have high expectations for Darian, and I think he'll come through for us.
Okay, let's move on to the first two games. On the road, right? You got North Quincy on the schedule, and they had a big game the other night against Brockton, in Brockton, on the road, and it was a barn burner. Matter of fact, they had that game in hand. I guess they were up with less than 4 minutes to go. They had a 7-point lead.
Yes.
Got it down to 3, and the kid from Brockton hits a 4-point play, a 3-pointer, fouled, and all of a sudden, with 30 seconds to play, they're up by 1.
And that's after North Quincy missed 2 free throws. They could put them up by 5.
Yeah.
So they outplayed Brockton most of that game.
Amazing. And even at the buzzer, they had their best guy, Danny, one of the twins, Danny, what's his name? Gould.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the twins. Their big guy, he's second-time All-Scholastic Patriot Ledger player. They had the right guy with the ball in his hands, baseline shot, in and out.
That's it. That's the difference. A half an inch, and they would have won that game against Brockton.
Know. So you got that, and then the report on this kid, their small forward, Marquise McClendon.
Yes.
Yeah, big game. 17 points. He's lightning fast. Whoever's out there for you at small forward has got his hands full tomorrow. He's a load.
Might be Darian Fernandez.
Well, that's going to be the beauty of watching this game, seeing what the matchup's going to be. And you really haven't scouted this team. You're only, like me, you've gotten.
Well, we scouted them on Friday night against Brockton.
Oh, you were there. You guys were there.
We saw them play. My coaching staff was there.
Oh,
and,
great.
So we were able to see them play, and we actually scrimmaged them at the end of last year before the state tournament, and that's how the coach and I got to know each other. And they played us pretty tough, and in a scrimmage, and he was looking to up his schedule, and we were looking to up ours, so it was a natural for both of us to play each other early in the season.
Right, and their coach is Kevin Barrett, right?
Yes.
Same first name as you, right? He's been there for 6 seasons. Good coach.
He is good coach, and he's got a.
That's a great program, isn't it? The Red Raider basketball program.
It is. They've done very well over the last few years. They finished 18-2 last year, and they're looking to get back.
I know, Division I.
Right.
Wow. And running up against a team like Brockton, who's always big in athletics, is incredible. Yeah, and I was looking. The twin guards have been together for a while. McClendon, and they've got a junior at center, Ephraim Butka, who's got a little size. I think he's 6'4".
6'4".
So Quentin will have his hands full because this kid put in 8 points. So
he did. Yeah, he did. Their strength is in their backcourt and their small forward, though.
The small
those
forwards,
three best players, the Gould brothers and McClendon. That's their team. If you could stop them, I'd feel we'd be in good shape.
In your scouting report, what's their team speed like? Do you think you've got an advantage there?
They're quick. They are. Our guards, though, our backcourt is very quick.
Very quick. We know
but
that.
They're solid and they're good shooters.
Really, they can shoot the ball.
They can. Number 5 especially is a real good shooter.
And that's Danny.
Yes.
Danny. Yeah. So we'll be watching for him tomorrow night, right? Yeah. Incredible game. And you got him next at the end of the year in February.
Yes, during February vacation.
It's like,
so hopefully a tune-up for the state tournament at that point.
You guys will have almost a whole season under your belt, both of you, and it's going to be another barn burner. I can see it down the road. It's going to be great. It's great for high school basketball, though, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think playing a Division I team is good for, even though we're Division III, I think that's what we want to do to help us get ready for the state tournament down the road.
And last year, your out-of-conference game was against...
we had Duxbury twice, and then we played in Cardinal Spellman in the Burgo tournament and Dartmouth.
Yeah, and this team we're going to see tomorrow night in the broadcast, North Quincy, the Division I, they were 4th seeded last year in the tournament, right? And they got
upset by New Bedford High.
And they got upset by
New Bedford High School.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why they're scheduling up this year. They want to be ready for the New Bedfords of the world.
Okay, and the first South Coast Conference game is going to be right down Route 6 at Fairhaven High School of Fairhaven Blue Devils, right?
That's correct.
A team that had a disappointing year last year.
Yeah, they struggled a little bit offensively, but they always play great man-to-man defense. And you'll know they'll try to slow the pace of the game down. That's what they do. And Coach scouts, and he knows everything we run. And it's just a question of executing and trying to create our tempo rather than accept their tempo of the game.
Yeah, Coach Phil Harding, and like 1-19 last year, disappointing. But I think the important thing is all these guys are coming back for them. They've got some experience coming back. They've got a super sophomore named Cameron Charette, who was playing as a freshman. And they say he played like a veteran last year. He's their small forward. It looks like he's going to be one of their scorers.
Charette is, and that's a basketball family out of Fairhaven. His sister was a star player, and so they know how to play the game. And but they will. They'll try to slow it down, and we've got to speed it up.
And their big shooter is Danny McLaughlin.
Yeah, McLaughlin's a decent shooter for them.
A three-pointer. But who would you say the other guy is probably more of a threat from the outside for them?
Potentially. I think with them the key is to...
Jacob Cavallo, a senior.
Yes, he played last year for them. So,
what style do basketball do
they like to eat up the shot clock. They like to use all 30 seconds on the shot clock and slow the game down. That's what they want.
The old half court.
Well, but he knows that's not our strength, and that's maybe not a bad way to play us. But that's it. That's how Fairhaven plays the game.
Yeah. So you have got a coaching job to do as far as to keep your players
right. For them not to get frustrated by the pace of the game. For me as a coach not to get frustrated by the pace of the game and just go out there, execute, rebound, and run.
Well, we'll have the camera on you watching your reaction to that. And so, and I'm sure they're going to be better this year. They have to be. There's no way for them to go but up. I know 1-19. And like I said, they've got 5 seniors, all with experience. Right. And that's going to be a plus. But supposedly have some quickness overall, especially at the guard position a little.
They're fairly they're athletic kids. I mean, Fairhaven always brings tough blue-collar kids ready to go and battle, and that's what I expect.
Coach Harding plays a team-oriented defense that he likes to. That seems to be their strength. Their defense.
Guarantee they'll play man-to-man defense, good help defense, but always man-to-man, good pressure on the ball, and help side defense off the ball.
Now, I know you beat them twice last year. Once by, I don't know, it was 55-31, but there was one game, what was it, 47-41, a close one. Was that at home or away?
It was. We always have close games in their gym, it seems. It's
really?
It's a small, narrow court.
So was it that half-court game that was
It frustrates
kind of,
us sometimes. It
yeah.
does, and we've got to get by that.
So when the shots are not working for you, it gets a little frustrating for the kids. Try to force up some shots, or
sometimes, and then we all press too much, and then just letting the game come to us. But hopefully we won't be in that situation this year.
You've been watching Off the Court with Coach Brogioli here on WCTV Sports, and stay tuned for Wareham basketball, varsity basketball, each and every week. I'm Paul Geigle. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
See you again next week.
Very good.
You're welcome.